What have you finished this episode, Reuben?
I have finished The Boy from Oz.
Whoa, whoa, when my baby smiles at me, I go to Rio.
What's that?
Shut up.
What's that thing?
You don't get to ask
What's
that
the boy
question.
from Oz?
Okay, you want me to tell the story?
Yeah, tell the story.
God, I've told this story so many fucking times.
Tell the whole
truth?
story.
The
If
whole
anyone
truth?
from The Boy from Oz is listening, they would have got that joke.
Was that a really good joke?
Yeah.
Say it again when I won't interrupt this time.
Tell the whole story. Oh.
If anyone told the knock knock joke that goes knock knock, who's there interrupting cow, they'll get that reference. Okay, do you actually want a clean take of that?
No, I want you to tell me
Okay.
tell me the story.
Well, folks, can't believe I'm here again. A few weeks ago, Jett said we should go to a musical called The Boy from Oz. One of my friends, friend from Heather's, Saskia, not friend from Heather's, one of my friends from Heather's, Saskia, is in this, and we should go and see it. And I said, sure, okay. Mm-hmm. And then the next week, Jett said, we should go and see this, can we book tickets? And I said, sure, okay, what is it? And Jett said, I don't know, I think it's a musical about some old-timey Australian guy, and also he maybe married Julie Andrews, and also he's gay. And I went, okay, sure. And then the following week, Jett said, I'm booking tickets for The Boy from Oz. And I said, okay, sure.
Did I book tickets on the podcast?
No, we started looking at times and things in the podcast, and then it got too hard, and we relegated it to an off-air topic.
Great.
Because we were both very busy.
Yes. I do want to say I did mention it on the podcast as much as possible.
Yes, that's correct.
Continue your story.
So we booked 2 tickets, that's foreshadowing, listeners, to The Boy from Oz. Weeks pass, it's fine, and The Boy from Oz is coming up on that Wednesday. And Jett says, hey, here's your ticket to The Boy from Oz, just in case anything happens. I said, great. Well, odd that Jett would do that, but great, good to have. Jett says, I do have a work dinner after work that night, so I'll have to go straight to the National Theatre in St Kilda. And I said, okay, sure. You picking up a theme? There's a lot of me saying, okay, sure here. And Jett said, what time will you be there? And I thought, oh, well, maybe they want like a lift back because they're going to be coming in from the city because after their work day or whatever. And I said, well, maybe 7:20, but I'll be on the tram.
Show starts at 7:30.
Yeah. Like I won't be going early, but I'll try to not be there on the dot. So that evening I got home and got changed and fed the cat and got on a tram. And I was early. I was on track for 7:18, 7:20. I was doing well. And I got down there and I got off the tram. And I was maybe playing the video game Slay the Spire on my phone, and I was maybe pretty invested and distracted, and I maybe sat at the tram, stopped playing Slay the Spire for 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
So then it was
you took the tram.
Yeah.
You got to where you needed to.
Yeah.
And you decided to stop at the tram stop that you had arrived at.
Yeah.
To play a video
I
game
got
on
off
your
the
phone.
tram and sat down again.
That's so dumb.
I was already playing the game on the tram.
Okay.
And so then I went from being nice and early to being, it's time to run to the theatre lane. So I ran through the weird streets of St Kilda. Everything's weird down there. Sorry, St Kilda residents, but everything's weird. And I ran in and I went, okay, I'm here. And I looked around the foyer of the National Theatre. And I went, Jett's not here. Oh, that's okay. I wonder if they're here already. I feel like maybe often they would wait for me, but that's fine. If I was here early, I'd be getting antsy and I'd want to get in and get the seats and whatever. Maybe they're in the bathroom, whatever. So I checked in with my ticket. How great that Jett sent me this ticket. Wonder where they are. Got on, wandered in, said, hi, my seat's E25. And the usher said, oh, yeah, just there to the left, then to the right. And I said, okay, here. And I turned to row D and row E and okay. I looked down and there's one empty seat in the middle of the row. And I'm like, this is very odd. Let me double check. No, yeah, that's right. Okay. Someone must have just sat down wrong or when the numbers are on the armrests of the chairs and you're like, I don't know if it's to the left or the right.
They are at the National. It's really annoying.
So it must have been one of those. And I'm like, it's a bit less common at the theatre than at the cinema because there's a person who, I don't know, it just seems to happen less. But I was like, must have just happened. That's fine. I'll just mosey on in. And I moseyed on in and sat down. And before I talked to people on either side of me, I messaged Jett because it was 26 past 7. I was like, hey, I'm here. Where are you at? And let's see exactly what I said, actually, because I forget. I said something along the lines of, I'm here, hasn't started yet. Don't worry if we're late, there's plenty of seats. Checks notes. So heading in now, I say at 7:26. What is this? Where are you? Jett replies, fuck, followed by, okay, I'm late. I say, are you secretly in this? Jett says, hold on. I say, oh, no worries. we haven't started yet. And then I get a phone call from Jett that sounds a little something like this.
Bring, 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 bring.
Hey, what's up? Jett? What's up?
Hey, yeah, shit. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm on my way. I'm trying to, hold on. Sorry. I took the tram from dinner and dinner ran late and I tried to leave, but they just kept going.
Yeah.
I'm on the tram.
Okay.
Well, no, I'm off the tram now. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm off the tram. The tram like stopped at it ended and I had to change trams. So I was running late because of that. And then I'm in St. Kilda. I'm in St. Kilda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I'm in
Well, we
St.
haven't started yet. So
Okay. That's okay.
I'm
good,
in.
good.
Like I'm sitting down.
Cool. Yeah.
There's plenty of empty seats. So even if you have to like come in a bit late, like it's fine.
Yeah, I just checked the tickets. I think it says that I can come in late. That's fine. They'll still let me in, which is
Okay.
which is good. Oh my God, I'm literally running through the streets of St. Kilda. It's so
Everything's
confusing.
diagonal. It's
Everything's
so weird.
diagonal. It's so
weird. Yeah.
it's so-
I
and
get it.
the lights take forever to cross. Oh my God. Okay.
Okay, I was also late for these reasons and no other reasons.
Good. So that's okay. I will be there. I'll be there like 10, maybe 15 minutes late. I'm literally gonna run. I'm sprinting though. I'll be there.
Okay. Well, okay.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh shit. The lights just turned green. I've got to go.
Okay,
I gotta go. Okay.
go.
Bye. Beep beep beep.
Sounded a little something like that, and I went, "Oh, okay, that sounds a lot like Jett. They must just be late." Anyway, Jett was in this musical, everyone.
I've been doing a secret musical, everyone. I've been lying to literally everyone in my life for the past bit over a month.
Which was my wasn't my second question. It was like my seventh question. My first 5 questions were, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
My 6th question was, how did you do this?
Mm-hmm.
And my 7th question was like, wait, who else knows? Because in my mind, once it was revealed in the, second song?
The third song, technically.
The third song.
Yeah.
Once it was revealed in the last third of the third song that was indeed Jett holding a beer bottle and squinting in the background, I went, okay, now the logical way to do this is to tell everyone in your life except me and also tell everyone to not tell me, right?
Nah.
Like make sure that you are supported in your time of crisis, in your time of intense rehearsal by lots of people who can corroborate your story. But you were thinking more like, you know, like the Titanic, how they had the waterproof sections that were meant to like seal off? Well, like, okay, you know the pandemic?
Yeah, I'm aware of the pandemic.
Okay, you're more familiar with the pandemic
I wasn't
than
on
the
the
specifics
Titanic.
of the Titanic sinking. All
But
right.
I did engage with the pandemic when
Familiar
that
with
happened.
with
Yes.
the pandemic.
Yeah.
You were like that level of control. You were like this.
Victorian government isolation.
That's right. You were like, no one who knows Reuben can know anyone who knows that I'm in this. Like there has to be like 2 degrees of separation between Reuben and the knowledge that I'm in a musical, despite the fact that I live with them, which is a wild decision. But it worked.
It worked. I was like, look, the leak can't get out if there's no water.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I wanted a 0% chance of you finding out that I was in this. So I told nobody. A little bit of backstory. I didn't join this musical at the start of the rehearsal period. I actually saw that, my friend Saskia was in this musical.
Which was another fun game that I was playing for the first 15 minutes because I was like, so was Saskia bullshit? Are they in this?
No, Saskia's in this. Saskia plays Judy Garland. Not
Julie Andrews.
Not Julie Andrews. And so she shared with me that this show was needing ensemble members about 3.5 weeks out from the show. So I thought, well, it's a theatre company that I've seen a show from before. I saw them do If Then in 2021, I want to say.
Which you gave what tier on the musical ranking list? Who knows? Go back and check.
It was pretty high because it was a really good production.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is actually a theatre company, that I'd like to work with. I like Saskia. It's also only a couple of weeks until the show. It could be a fun little romp. And she was like, we would really love to have you. Like, I think that it'll be really great. And I think Saskia also knows my work ethic from working together in Heathers, that I'd be able to come in and just like do the job and like engage with people and be, be able to not cause a ruckus or anything, but just fit in really well and be supportive. And so I was like, well, yep, I'll audition. I went down to Cheltenham to audition.
For the game jam.
Yes, for the game jam. So every time, quick little side quest, every time on this podcast that I've mentioned, and in real life, if you're listening, you don't know yet, I've been telling everyone that I've been doing a board game jam over the past month to cover up why I've been going down to Cheltenham. And look, I haven't been lying about the things that I've been saying about the game jam.
Oh, that's nice, dear.
I've just been putting it within the framing of a game jam, but everything that I've said has been about the music thing. So, like, yeah, I have done something in the industry before and someone reached out and said, hey, we would really love it if you joined us and supported us. Yeah, I didn't lie. I tweaked the truth. I took the title of The Truth
Oh, yes?
and changed it out with a different title.
Oh, yes, but the book's still the same.
The book's still the same. Yeah.
Okay, but if I take the book Twilight and I take off the title Twilight and I put on the
50
title
Shades?
Mein Kampf,
Oh, okay.
it's kind of arguably a different book. We went in wildly different
Interesting
directions with
sentiment.
that.
So anyways,
Just to be clear, it gets better. No,
I
sorry.
auditioned and I got in. And before I found out that I got in, I was very much in two minds about it. I was like, if I don't get in, that's fine. It would be such an intense period of time, and then I have to do a whole show, and I have to go down to Cheltenham 3 times a week before doing a show. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days a week, 8 shows each week. 8 shows? 9 shows sometimes. I don't know how to do maths.
998, right?
Yes, 998. No, because
opening.
it's 498.
Yeah.
So I...
That doesn't equal 17, but that's fine.
It doesn't. I thought,
What did you come here for? Numbers? Finance? Get out of here.
Ooh, you came here for lies and only lies.
We're back on lies and musicals. It's got us through 48 episodes.
We didn't
so
flip
far.
flop.
No.
No, we did flip flop.
No, we flip-flopped.
We flip-flopped completely. So I was like, but if I do get in, it is only 3 weeks out to the show. I do a podcast with Reuben. Reuben and I do watch musicals together. How funny would it be if we went to a musical and I was in it and I didn't tell Reuben? And then I got in. And so that was my plan. And I had to keep it so hush-hush. I couldn't tell anyone that I was in the show. And you, annoyingly, I wanted you to come opening night so that I wouldn't have to keep it secret.
Right.
However, you were doing a dance show.
I was doing show week.
You were producing your own piece
Yeah.
as part of Yellow Wheel's Trip the Light.
Yeah.
On the weekend that I was opening. How bloody rude of you.
Yeah.
So we had to go the next Wednesday, we had to go. So that was a little annoying, but that was fine. It did mean that I had to miss out on the actual performance of Trip the Light, which I did buy a ticket to, but I was luckily like, hey, I still have the game jam thing. I know it's lasting a while, but it's happening on the weekend and I can't go to your show. I was like, oh no, I've really done a conflict here. Oh, I've double booked. I'm so sorry. I did feel bad.
What's my name? Caleb Hammer. I've done a conflict here.
Very good. So I came to the dress rehearsal for that.
Yeah.
Which was a very good and very fun. So I'm glad that I got to do that as well. But yeah, that's sort of my side of the story. I had some things that looked like leaks at some point. I had one person.
But they were spring onions.
They were spring onions. I had one person who was also from Heather's come to a rehearsal because they were helping to do some music stuff or understudying. And I didn't get to talk to them until the end of the rehearsal, in which I was praying to God that they did not tell anyone.
Anything? Yeah.
Also, they did post the theatre company did post an updated cast list with me on it.
Yikes.
So that was really scary as well.
Hey, funny request. Could you just take me off the cast list? Could you just erase my digital footprint completely, please?
And after we did the tech week, they took photos.
Yeah.
And I was terrified that they were going to share some that I was in and people were going to be like, wow, Jett's in this, and share it and tell you or bring it up in some sort of setting, maybe a group chat that we're in. I don't know.
I totally understand the fear, but the number of unlikely events that would have been required for one of those things to happen is so cosmically small. You were the biggest danger.
No.
Everyone else, fine.
I made it so risky, though, by telling nobody.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
If one person found out, they
That's
would have been
right.
like, whoa, this is insane.
Yeah.
Why didn't we know this? And it would get back to you.
I guess.
We had an event in which we had people over.
Oh, yeah.
And I made sure that I went out to let them in the front door of the building simply so I could get a vibe of if they knew or not. Because
Hey, if you've heard anything, don't bring it up. But if you haven't heard anything, there's nothing.
I was literally going to say basically word for word that, and then I thought that might be
That's
too
suspicious.
leading and suspicious, and they might find out. Luckily, all the photos that the theatre company put out, some of them did have me in it, but I was very small in the background,
You're in the corner of about 7 photos.
which I think really leads to it's
great.
It works with my narrative of
Yes.
I was secretly in this musical.
Yeah.
Speaking of this musical, what did you think of The Boy from Oz?
No, we're not ready for The Boy from Oz yet. We have to talk more about this previous thing. No, look, we're almost ready. I
Okay.
just have to
No.
coin a phrase first.
Coin a phrase, by all means.
So, are you aware of William of Ockham?
I'm not.
Are you aware of Occam's razor?
Still no.
Okay. So, look, Occam's razor is like a philosophical tenet. Don't make a joke about the movie. A philosophical idea, a philosophical tool. Basically suggests that, like, the simplest explanation for something is the real one. So, like, I don't know, you can use it to like disprove or argue against like a lot of like weird religious workaround arguments. And it's like, no, it's more likely to be just this thing. Like, and then God created everything and then he had a big flood, but then there was a guy called Noah and he had a boat and there was 2 of everything. It's like, now what if it was just genetics, right?
Yeah, okay.
It's like that. Genetics is very complicated. I picked a bad example. But Occam's razor is like, but maybe this
It's not that
person's
complicated. You just put it in a square.
a Punnett square.
Yeah. You got strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, and then a secret 4th one. It's different at every supermarket.
And then maybe that person said that thing because they were actually thinking about they were jealous of that other person and so maybe no one loves me. It's like, no, they probably just said it and didn't think about that.
Yeah.
You know, Occam's razor.
Okay. Most simplest answer is probably
that's right.
the right answer.
Yeah. And I need to coin the term Archer's blade, which is that Occam's razor applies unless Jett is involved. In which case, Archer's blade takes precedence. And that is that, yeah, no, they did. If in doubt, yeah, they did. And no, and yeah, they have. And no, we don't know why.
That is why you should have stuck with your one text of, wait, are you secretly in this?
I know, I went back on it. Your phone call was so convincing. Fuck, I'm mad.
I did make that phone
I'm
call.
so mad.
I literally went into the corner of the back rooms of the theater to like literally covering the phone with my hand in like the kitchen area while everything was going on. Everyone was rushing to make the call and sound huffed and puffed. And I was stressing out. And here's the thing though. Here is the thing. I planned on calling you a little bit earlier, like a few minutes earlier.
Like 7:25, for example,
But
not 7:27.
I was stressing out so much
Yeah.
about you being there, and that was the night. I was like, oh my God, it's the night. I was way more stressed out for that night and nervous than I was like opening or anything like that, or any of the shows. And I was so stressed out that I forgot to put my mic on. So I was chatting to people. I was like, oh my God, Reuben's coming, blah, 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 because I told everyone about it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they have no clue who you are. And then they're like, cool, that's great. Where's your mic though, Jett? And I just sprint to get my mic on with the sound people. And then in that time, you had messaged me, wait, are you secretly in this? And that's why I was like, hold on. And then I called you.
You know what's really funny is the thing that tipped me, because I was listening to that phone call being like, you know, my eyebrows were raised, my hackles were raised, that's enough things that are raised.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was sus, you could say. And the thing that convinced me was that you couldn't have made that phone call from backstage because I know what it's like before a show and I know you. And I was like, there's no way they could have done that if they're just not backstage. I would hear it in their voice. Or they wouldn't be able to call was my big, I was like, this call just wouldn't have come through if they were backstage. So I had ticked. And then I had flopped back to being like, no, they're not in this.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when I saw you, I flipped again. So I flipped.
I tried to make the call outside, but then I was told no by someone else.
I was like, that was the thing that convinced me. I was like, they just wouldn't have called. They couldn't have called.
Well, too bad. I tricked you.
Nice.
Get tricked.
Nice. You know what my 8th thought was?
What?
After all the other ones that I went through before?
Tell me.
Like, oh, it's going to be hard to top this. Like this as a pillar of the pranks that we do is going to cast like a long shadow. Like this is probably maybe stinishedit is there, but other than that, I think the biggest one before this is probably Umbrella.
Okay.
A year 12 graduation dance.
Yeah.
And then like maybe podcast was pretty significant in there. And then like this is easily double height. Like it's very hard to outlive this one.
Are you upset that you won't top it? Like, are you taking it as a challenge?
I would be upset if I wasn't so impressed.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. And I was like, yeah, well played. Like slow clap, but respectful, you know?
Yeah. Excellent. I really want to hear about how you thought about the show.
Boy from Oz.
The Boy from Oz.
I don't know what I think about The Boy. The thing is, I wasn't just watching The Boy from Oz. I was watching The Boy from Oz. I was trying to figure out who Peter Allen was, and is he real? And is this story real? And is that Judy Garland? And Jett's in this, so I was watching you. And is Saskia in this? And just, I had so many things to think about.
Yeah.
I would say that the structure of The Boy from Oz probably works really well if you know the story. And if you don't know the story, kind of saps itself of some tension. Because the very first thing that happens is you see Peter Allen on stage giving a show as successful Peter Allen. His name is literally In Lights. And then we cut back in you're telling me the third song, to little baby Peter Allen with a little child actor who was very good.
Also named Reuben.
There you go.
He was the one spreading the word to everyone he was going around to all the dressing rooms being like, "Do you hear what Jett's doing? Do you hear what Jett's doing? Jett's friend Reuben's coming." They don't know that they're in it.
So cute.
Yeah.
So for me, that's like, oh, well, I know that he makes it. So I'm like, well, I know. So it's harder to get invested.
Okay.
But as we went on, and particularly in the second act, there's enough new information revealed because it does the old cut back and forth. Does a little Tenet, if you will. That you kind of learn about like why it was hard and why he is the way that he is and what the struggle was in a more specific way. And I'm like, this actually does work. But I'm treating this musical like a mystery, and I don't think it's meant to be. Because, again, it's a jukebox musical based on a real person who really lived.
Who has very famous songs.
Allegedly.
That a lot of, especially Australians, know. Because, like, he was one of the only big stars, Australian stars to make it in the US in that time. Like, we have very, very few, but like before the globalization of like the internet and everything. He was a big one. And the fact that he happened to meet Judy Garland in Hong Kong one night, and they happened to hit it off. And then she took him under her wing, brought him to the US, took over New York. Like, it's
a wild story.
It's an absolutely wild story.
And then I was also like, how much of this is real and how much of this is like magic realism? I don't know.
Basically all real. Well,
basically all real, apparently.
It's very much a cabaret show in the way of Peter Allen talks to the audience.
Yeah.
Has some nice banter.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Really good bits.
Everyone that I've heard talk about it who saw the show really enjoyed that. Us backstage, we either didn't hear it, like we didn't really know, that's some of the quieter bits, so we can't really tell when the jokes are being made, or we're like, bloody hell, this banter's going on for a while. We want to go home. Come on, let's speed it up. Much love to Matt, who played Peter Allen. My opinion, phenomenal in the role.
Very good. Initially, I was like, really trying to like pin it down. There was this thing about his performance that I couldn't name. I was like, he's like weirdly slipping and sliding through this choreography and even like through these melodies. It's kind of like he's like just like shifting, like the ground doesn't affect him quite the same way as everyone else. Like his hands are like looser, like he's constantly like flicking water off his wrist. And then I realized as the course of the musical went on, I realized A, that is because he's doing an impression of a real person, and B, it's probably really very good actually.
Yeah, I think it also leans into because it does jump around.
Sounded like that. Came with the visual as well, sorry listeners.
Because it does jump around. Like one of the first times we see Peter Allen, we have like two songs and then Naming Lights, and then he does a song as the Allen brothers with someone else in Australia for a song called Pretty Keen Teen. And in that he's 16. Matt's not 16.
No.
And by the time the end of the story happens, he's not still 16. Like there's been, decades.
50 something?
I can't remember. I don't know.
Never heard of this man.
I hadn't before this show. When they were doing the audition, they were like, so do you know any of Peter Allen songs? And I was like, yeah, I probably heard a few. But so because age, it goes over such a long time age, the way I envision it is that it's Peter Allen telling the story of his life, and he is like the one person in those scenes that is just like consistent through these little vignettes of what has happened. Yeah.
And it works because I was going to say no one else breaks the fourth wall. They kind of do in the frame narrative. But yeah, it kind of feels like he's this not omniscient narrator, but yeah, what you said. Going back and telling his own story, but in his voice and body of retrospective. Like him on stage in the, give me a decade. 1610s.
1760.
Nice, yeah.
Great.
Looking back.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think that also theatre always does break that fourth wall a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
There's always little things that are obviously being done for the audience, especially jokes.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was one person who got all of the jokes, and I was on the opposite end of that spectrum.
Oh,
Because there were jokes about Peter Allen, there were jokes about the Boy from Oz musical, there were jokes about Sydney, and there were jokes about last century, and I haven't lived or known about any of those things.
A couple of times I saw Matt on stage just be like, I'm going to direct all of the jokes now to just this left side of the audience because you guys seem to be getting them.
Yeah.
So any jokes that I make, sorry, I'm just going here now.
Yeah.
That's where it's going to hit the
Funny you
hardest.
should mention the left side of the audience. Matt had a very, very difficult interaction with the audience, which he handled, I would say, with aplomb. Well,
Where does that rank in the
plum.
Plum.
So soft inside, thin skin.
Yeah, soft
so,
inside, thin skin. Oh, that's in that bottom left
Bottom left.
that's still green.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
That's right. Plums aren't green. The fuck are you talking about? Basically, Matt has many times when he talks to the audience. I'm going to call him Peter Allen.
Yeah,
clarity.
call him Peter Allen.
No, that's not clear. Fuck. Doesn't matter.
No, just do it.
It's a music biopic. You can repeat the actor and then the figure become
Petey boy.
interchangeable. Gets changed lots on stage, but even other times in between, talks to the audience a lot. And one of these times, he walked along to the audience, saw someone on their phone, saw the glow of a phone screen on their face and said, "Oh, Candy Crush?" And this person looked up and said, "No, my daughter's just been found." Now, how would you deal with that?
What do you mean by found?
She fogged it up by saying, "She's been missing for 24 hours." Matt handled it very well, just said, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're here." So that released the tension for the rest of us and then said like, "I'm so sorry. I'm glad everything's okay." And Matt had just recovered, had just got the whole musical back on track, had made sure everyone was still laughing and having a good time except for that one person, but there's not much you can do for her. He did really well. And then someone from the opposite side of the audience says, "How long till Rio?" And just like, it was as if the Titanic had scraped against the iceberg. They had closed all the waterproof sections. Just think about viruses. It's fine. I know you don't know about this. And things were back on track. And then just like someone just like threw a meteor at it. Like, hey, fuck you, nice work, but also, nah. How long till Rio?
Oh, this song actually.
Jett, what's Rio?
Rio, or I Go To Rio,
Stupid name.
is probably Peter Allen's most well-known, most popular song, right in front of Still Call Australia Home. Did you know that one?
That one I did know.
Oh.
But only from ads.
You did know.
And also from the Sammy J parody that he did when no one could come back to Australia in the pandemic. It's funny. Had a whole choir doing it in masks, maybe.
I thought he did that one about the Titanic. Doesn't matter. Did I Go To Rio is very unlike a lot of Peter's songs because the whole, I don't know, the musical arc of Peter is he starts off with very fun songs that don't have a lot of depth to them. He goes with Judy Garland. Judy Garland's like, no, you need to tell the whole story. Give me depth. Give me, sing from the heart. And Peter's like, I don't really know how to do that. And it isn't until Judy dies and comes back as a ghost that he starts to understand how to do that. And so a big chunk of Peter's songs are quite emotional. They have some depth and meaning to them. And then there's the most popular song, which is I Go To Rio, which is just him singing about going to Rio. And when he sees his baby, he feels like he's in Rio. He feels like Tarzan of the jungle. They're on the hot sand. They're in a bungalow where monkeys play above her. We'll make lover. That's probably the only verse that I have solid. And the rest, which I'm going to blame on me coming into the show too late.
Oh yeah, blame it on whatever you want.
Can't make excuses for the rest of the cast.
That's okay, they know it. Oh shit! They gave me a look, listeners. They gave me a look.
No, it's like it's the big last number.
Yeah.
It's the big, well, sort of last number. There's an encore as well. But it's big, bombastic. We're all wearing sparkles and stuff. I realize it's the only dance number that I actually have. Like the only other dance one was a audition scene right at the start, where I do, slide, 4-step, slide.
But you do it
Then I
badly.
do something
but you meant
else.
to.
All right, I was trying for the one that you were in.
Oh!
I got. There are a couple of lines that the judge guy says in that scene. He's like, "Well, if your feet need some work, you could sparkle more." Goes to another person and said, "You could sparkle a lot less." That night because Nathan, the person who played that character, knew that you were coming. They said that I should sparkle more. They said that to me. I felt real special in that moment. So, anyways. But those are the only two that I really dance in. And Rio is like an intense dance, or at least for the short amount of time that I had to learn it in. So I was like really learning on the fly during Tech Week.
Oh, terrifying. I know we've been talking about Boy Frogs from ages, but I got more things to say.
No.
For example, I got thoughts on Rio.
Okay, give me thoughts on Rio.
I just want to try to communicate to the listeners how much this song was talked up. So I rock up at the musical, and the very first thing that I hear before like an overture, while the curtains are still down on stage, Jett's going to be late. That's fine. I settle in, okay? The first thing that I hear is an acknowledgement of country, and then please turn your phones off. And then photography is not permitted except during Rio. So it's a little note in my brain. What's Rio? Interesting. Okay. Then, during the first act, Matt's talking about, now, I know you're all waiting for Rio, but we've got a few other things to get through first. What's Rio? Then at intermission, I decide that I do in fact need a program since Jett's in this. And the front cover is Matt as Peter Allen in a Hawaiian shirt with maracas. Okay, interesting. Gives Rio vibes. Then in the middle of the second act, someone yells out, "How long till Rio?" And then right as the musical is approaching its finale, Matt says, "We're almost at Rio. But I just need to tell you about this first." So I was on the edge of my seat for Rio. I was waiting. I was waiting for the best song since the one at the end of Rent. As in, not how good it actually is just how good the characters think. Yeah. Just that level of like world-changingly good.
Yeah, it'll fix the person with AIDS, which didn't happen in this because Greg dies and Peter dies both of AIDS.
Which
and Rio didn't fix it? Crazy.
I don't like Rio. I think it's a bad song. I think it's boring. I think there's only 4 lines. You made up that verse. I've never heard that in my life.
What are the 4 lines?
I go to Rio.
Oh, not lines, words.
Yeah, sometimes they throw in De Janeiro, but that's like a backing vocal, so I'm not even counting it.
Okay.
I didn't like Rio. I really enjoyed this musical, but I left coasting off the negative aura of Rio. And so,
what didn't you like about it?
It's not a good song and I don't like it.
You don't want to get
Everyone just has Stockholm Syndrome for Rio. Everyone has Rio Syndrome, okay?
Stop making up
names. The whole audience are just waiting for it.
Everyone's loving it. There's a little bit where Peter goes, when my baby smiles at me, I go to Nanawading.
That bit was good. I thought
you wouldn't have that. You wouldn't have that without Rio.
That's okay. I've thought of my own independent Nanawading joke. You made a whole reel out of it.
Oh,
yeah. So it's fine. I can live without. I go to Nanawading.
Did you have a song that you did like?
I had a song that I recognized.
I Still Call Australia Home.
Yeah.
So in a couple of the shows, people brought out their phones and we're doing a whole.
Oh no, we sang along. No wavy.
Yeah.
No.
The singing along was a surprise because we didn't know that was a thing that people would sing along. So when we performed for the first time in front of our audience, we were in the wings, and then we just hear Peter sort of like fade out of the chorus and just hear this wash of voices from the audience singing along to the song, and that was just, that was really beautiful.
Nice. Yeah. The music was the worst bit of this for me. But I can tell you about other things that I liked if you don't want to end this on a downer. Much like the boy from Oz ends on a downer with Rio.
It has an encore where he sings.
Yeah.
Peter sings Once Before I Go. During that time, I will say, everyone in the back frantically getting changed. we want to get out of here as soon as possible. This is probably one of the only shows where the cast will come out very soon. Like the cast, when they come out into the foyer, there are still people leaving their seats.
Yeah, you guys were quick.
It's simply because we have all of that song.
And also you're like, enough wordplay, enough audience interaction.
As soon as I come off from bows, I immediately go to the sound people and get my mic off and get changed. It's great. Anyways, tell me about the bits that you did like.
Okay, in terms of drama and meaningfulness, I liked Stonehenge riots.
The Stonehenge riots.
Yeah, the Stonehenge riots when they picked up all the stones from Stonehenge.
What do they throw? That's in a big field.
Yeah, I know.
What are you rioting? What are you?
People have been wondering for 2,000 years how they picked them up. Turns out if you're angry enough, you can just pick them up. That's the Stonehenge riots.
If Judy Garland dies, it will give. It's like when you know those stories about like mothers who like when their baby's trapped under the car, they can lift a whole car, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's like that. But if Judy Garland dies, all the gay
all the
people
gays can lift riots.
they can lift Stonehenge.
So I like that.
That's Quiet Please. That one's fun. I'm in drag for that one.
Correct.
People clap. We do like little silent claps, and then we snicker to ourselves in our heads when we hear the audience actually real clapping. And then when they realize that we're not actually clapping,
fiddle.
then they stop. It's really funny. Yeah.
That did happen. Yeah. One of my favorite jokes has to be, this is the song that took me from being a sad, lonely songwriter to being a sad, lonely songwriter with a beach house. That one's great. Yeah, I like lots of things. Oh my God, how many costumes are in this freaking thing?
An insane amount.
So many.
A crazy amount.
More costumes than songs, arguably.
There were like, if you count all of the little in-betweeny songs, there's I think 35 songs.
Okay, that's more songs than I thought. Once again, don't remember any of them, so the number in my head's a little smaller.
There's also about 35 people. And if you take everyone's costume changes,
then there's...
right. Yeah, Peter has a bunch. Some of them have to happen on stage.
Yeah.
Some of them have to happen with another character bringing the costumes out. Like, there's this one bit where Greg, who is the love interest to Peter, he comes on with like a suit jacket and shoes and a tie. Like, it just kept building up during Tech Week, what he was bringing on for Peter.
There's one where the stage manager just straight up walks on stage and holds a towel for him.
Yeah.
I like that one.
That's a little fun one.
You have...
Shout out Chloe.
You have a role in this musical. Mm-hmm. You're not just an ensemble member. You ain't just any ensemble member, are you?
I have a couple little scenes. My first scene, turns out I'm Judy Garland's husband. Wild. Name's Mark. My job as Judy Garland's husband, be incredibly stressed. We're having a nice dinner at Hong Kong. All of a sudden, Judy freaking out. She literally just hears the Peter, the Allen brothers talking about Australia, and she's like, "I hate that place. They're all awful." And I'm like, "Jesus, Judy, calm down." Like, and we're like trying to be, I don't know. This isn't young Judy. This isn't
heroin Judy.
This isn't Wizard of Oz
Not her
Judy.
fault. They made her take it.
But it might still be heroin Judy. I don't know. She was probably doing drugs later in her life. I don't know. But she's like famously washed up, has had multiple comebacks, has had multiple husbands, has had multiple like overdoses. So I'm like, bloody hell, let's keep it cool here. Let's just calm it down. Yeah, sure, we'll leave, whatever. And then Peter Allen's like, wow, it's Judy Garland. Everyone look at Judy Garland. And so I'm like freaking out.
No, don't.
Don't look at Judy Garland. And then he's like, sing for us, Judy Garland. I'm like, buddy, don't.
I'll sing for you.
Don't sing.
La 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 la.
No, it's not like that. She's more like, no, don't make me.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't possibly. If you ask a third time, I will though. Oh, okay, yes, I will. So yeah, that's a fun one. And then I have a little scene as Trick, which is basically a character. It's a person who sleeps with Peter, and then has a little scene saying, "Hey, I really like you, Peter. Let's maybe hang out again sometime." Peter's like, "No, bugger off. I don't like you." And it's during that time in which he's, I don't know, learning a bit more about himself and a bit more how to tap into not just the happy-go-luckiness, but like, I don't know. It's during a song called Taught by Experts that Judy and him sing. I've been taught by experts in the art of cruelty. So then I get the brunt of that.
Yeah. I'm
also wearing basically nothing in that scene. I've got these tiny underwear shorts that are like the tightest thing that they're tighter than my underwear and smaller than my underwear. And then I have like a kimono sort of thing on top of that. But that one's really fun.
That one's good. It's set up for later.
What do you mean?
It's important foreshadowing. Well, later on there's a scene between Peter and Greg.
Yep.
They find out that Greg has AIDS, right? And he's like, it's okay, you don't have to, I might be remembering this wrong, but he's like, it's okay, like I understand if you want to like move on, you don't have to stay with me.
Yeah.
And we know that Peter's really obsessed with like making it, naming lights, etc. Sorry, I don't want you to stay another night, I'm working that scene with you, right? And he says, no, I'm going to stay. And that's, I guess, means more in the context that he hasn't done that with previous like partners.
Yeah.
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 And it's like staged. Actually, it's not the same. I think Peter's standing and Greg's sitting down, but it's mirrored, maybe.
No, I think...
Am I reading too much into this?
I don't know.
Anyway, I was really
I think
for me.
that's actually really nice. I didn't really think of it like that. Because also, being in the show, I never get to see it as one
Don't
whole
get to see
piece.
it from the outside.
So
Yeah.
that's some interesting actual
Yeah.
like little thread of connection. That's really good. I want to give a shout out to Sarah, who played Liza Minnelli, Judy Garland's daughter, and also married Peter Allen for a little bit. Just absolutely incredible. And those scenes, what's the song called? What's that song called?
The Leave While I'm in Love one or the Can one?
The Can Can Cabaret one.
Yeah.
Not Can Can, because that,
The one not Can, that's different. The one where
That's
she gets
Rockets.
pushed down the stage. They're like, Judy's having a meltdown.
Yeah.
Go and do a song.
Go and do a song.
Just go on stage. And she's like, what? Okay.
And then she gets like lifted into the air multiple times and does it. Oh, it's just so fun. And they do like all the dancers. Shout out to all the dancers in the show. They were bloody incredible. I don't know, that one. I was like, maybe do I like fun cabaret, black and red stuff? You know?
Famously, this is jukebox musical.
Yeah, famously it is.
So
But this didn't work on you because normally jukeboxes only work because it's like, oh, I
that's
just
right.
like all the songs.
But did you normally don't like them?
Yeah.
Okay, it's interesting you say it didn't work on me. I feel like I want you to picture a bell curve. I want you to flip it. Then I want you to flop it so it's the same way up again.
Okay, it's a
Then I
regular
want you to
bubble.
flip it a third time so it's upside down.
Crazy.
Okay, so we're left with like a U shape.
Yeah.
Now on the y-axis, where you're used to putting thickness,
Yeah.
I want you to put enjoyment. And on the x-axis, where you used to put in density of fruit, I know it's confusing, I want you to put knowledge of Peter Allen.
Okay, yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
You got that in your head?
Yeah.
If you know absolutely nothing, you're in for a wild time. You might not know anything, but you're going to be enjoying the mystery. If you know just a tiny bit about Peter Allen and like maybe half know one or two of his songs, this is going to be a little flat for you. If you know a lot if you're the Peter Allen #1 super fan who knows everything, I reckon this is probably great. The jukebox effect, if you will.
Yeah. Did you cry at any point?
I didn't cry.
I've had multiple people come to me afterwards and be like, I cried
Yeah,
a
it's
lot.
pretty sad. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, but also those were people who knew the songs. Also, I feel like older generations would cry at this.
I feel that way too.
And that's what I sort of got. I don't know, it's very much sad gay love story.
It is. It's very music biopic.
Yeah, which I think, has its time
it's
and
also
place.
true. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's what happened.
Maybe I really want to see someone else
I
put
bet
it
you
on.
do.
I would love to actually get the whole experience, and then, but I don't think I can properly I can only judge it as a musical that I've been in.
Sure.
So I'm definitely biased.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
we're going to judge it as a musical that you've been in. Now we're going to put it on the list, baby.
Do I get a say?
Do you want a say or do you want to recuse yourself?
Listen up, listeners. If you didn't know, we have a tier list of basically all musicals.
So we keep finding ones that aren't on it. Like Honk
Honk.
or Waitress. Or remember we had that whole list and one of them is fake?
Oh.
That poll might be finishing next week. We're going to check back in with that. That's coming up next week, listeners. Which one's fake?
All right. I brought up the tier list. Where would you put it?
What's in B?
What's in B? Mary Poppins, Billy Elliot, If Then, and The Addams Family. In C, it's Grease.
What's in C? Yeah.
Grease, The Color Purple, Shrek, School of Rock, Spider-Man, Priscilla, Aladdin, Mean Girls, Beetlejuice, Chicago, Groundhog Day, Les Mis.
I'm going to say B minus.
I think I would put it at. I'll put it at B.
And I'll put it at C.
What? This one? No, I'm bringing it up to a B. We're both putting it. It's a B minus.
Okay. What's in B?
Mary Poppins, Billy Elliot, If Then, The Addams Family.
Okay. Yeah.
Boy from Oz. I think
It's not as good as some of those things, but it's also better than most of the things in C.
Exactly.
So it has to go there.
It has to go on B. Also, we need to have some national pride.
No, I disagree. I think the fact that the word Oz is in the title loses this at least 5 points.
I consider Oz a nod to Judy Garland, Wizard of Oz. So I hear the boy from Oz, and I'm like, oh, the boy is the son of the girl who went to Oz. That's the connection
Ah,
there.
yes, that's what it
You
means.
telling me this man's from Australia? By
Very
national pride, I
distinctly.
meant
Oz.
Oz, as in, we're famously both munchkins from
Oh,
Munchkin.
yeah. Once you know, everything falls into place.
Okay. Who would you recommend this to? The show's done, by the way. I finished it. They were going to keep going.
I finished it.
You finished watching it. But I mean, the season, the run.
Yeah.
They said, Jett, we want to keep going, but it's up to you. And I said, no. Don't
Is
give
there
the
a Boy
audience
from
what they
Oz
want.
movie? Probably not.
Give them what they deserve.
Nothing.
Yeah.
They stopped clapping. Duke Stonehenge bastards.
Is there a Boy from Oz movie? Don't think so. I think this is only a musical. This was the first big Australian musical. It got big. Todd McKenney. Todd McKenney did the role first and went to Broadway, and then freaking Hugh Jackman took it.
He likes to swoop in and take things like that.
Yeah, and made it real big over there as well. Big resurgence. And who would you recommend?
I
this show
did my
to?
inverted bell curve, all right? You're not getting any more in-depth recommendation than that. That was
right.
so specific.
Okay, my bad. Thank you for your review. I appreciate it. I'll take it on. I'll make sure the next show that I do, just for your sake though,
Yeah.
not for everyone else's, will not have I Go To Rio in it.
Thank you.
But if I was doing it for everyone else's sake, I would
Jam Rio in everything else.
jam Rio
somehow.
anywhere that I can.
Oh, you're doing Into the Woods? It's okay. We got Rio now.
That would make it so much better.
Anything would make that so much better for you, though.
Oh, yeah.
If you made me watch Into the Woods and it had a Rio in it, I think I would set fire to the theater.
I would do a little joke of mashing two songs together.
Oh, yeah?
If I kept any space in my brain
Yeah.
for Into the Woods, which I will always refuse to do.
Like in Cinderella, when they put the Seven Nation Army edit in, and you're like,
Oh,
wait,
don't get
maybe
me
this movie's
started.
good. And then you're like, no, I just like this song.
Don't get me started.